Hello, everyone. I see people are starting to come in. I am so excited to welcome you today to the power of pilgrimage. I'm so delighted to see some of you I know, some of you I don't know, but I'm just so excited that you are here. If you would like to put in the chat where you are calling from, also what brought you here today, what drew you to this power pilgrimage, learning more about Enchanted Ireland. And I'm just so excited. So let me give you a little bit of an understanding of what's going to happen today. So we're going to talk about the power pilgrimage, earth magic, the magic of Ireland. Ireland is really calling. She's calling certain souls over the next couple months for divine pilgrimage. And I share this because this is a call that it is from deep in your soul. You know if you are called. Uh, there is it's funny, it's this real reciprocal relationship that Ireland is calling for. I think so often, like even in like human relationships, we'll have one person who gives more, but in this case, like Ireland is calling, for us to receive healing, nourishment, divine love from her. But she is also inviting us, for those of you who, whether you want to travel to Ireland in person or if you just want to connect with her magic here today through the ether, is like she is really calling for great healing as well. So I'm just like so excited to bring some magic through for you today. And let me just see in the chat where people are coming in from. I see someone said Oklahoma City. Oh my goodness. I have never been to Oklahoma, but that sounds amazing. Linda from Northeast Tennessee, and you've studied the Irish goddesses. You've been to Ireland once, and the mythology is calling you back. I love that. And I just feel I said this in the emails for this. It's so funny. I didn't intend. It's just like it insisted. It came through. Ireland, the land of myth and legends. So I feel that those who are called to Ireland, besides the land, it's the stories. And everyone here, you all know I love stories. And that's part of what I'm also just really excited to share with you today. And so we have Claudine, greetings from New York. You are called in a very big way to the Emerald Isle. I love that. And we also have Noah from North Carolina, praying to join in 2025. I'm planning a trip. Okay, I may do a 2025 trip. I don't want to give too much away. I'm just like going to hint that there may be another opportunity to join me in 2024 if the September dates don't work for people. So I'm going to just like hold on to that little thread for a while. But I do have a surprise for everyone here related to the Lionsgate. So I'm just going to share that like right off the bat that there is a surprise that's coming. But first, I really want to create I think an atmosphere of welcome, because one of the people, the goddesses who has really called you to this space is none other than Goddess Brigid. And I know if anyone of you has worked with the gods and goddesses of Ireland before, I think a lot of people first connect with Brigid. And she instructed me, it was like, give them a warm welcome. And so I feel like this warm welcome for everyone here, this is from me, but this also from Brigid herself. And so we're going to be connecting with Goddess Brigid later today in a sacred activation. That's going to be toward the end of the call. And you're also going to learn in the very beginning of the call three things, like three ways that pilgrimage really transforms the soul, really ignites your human experience. So I'm excited to share three things about pilgrimage. And toward the middle, I'm going to be talking about a wonderful trip. I know you guys have been receiving my emails. It's called Enchanted Ireland. It is 5 days into the mythic heart of Ireland, into her sacred sites. So I'm going to share more about that in the middle. And I'm just like wanting you to know that this is the structure of the call. This is what you can expect. We're going to learn a lot about magic in the beginning. You can learn about the trip, and then we're going to have our guided journey with Brigid. So I'm just very, very excited. Let me just see in the chat, a couple other people here have posted. Okay, so no, you go in September. Oh, but you're moving to France in October and your plate is full. Okay. I like, no, you're inspiring me to do a 2025 trip. Well, either way, I know that you're going to get a lot of value today. And I know that Ireland is calling you. I can feel that for you. And let's see. Sky Brother, you are from San Diego, California. I love that. Okay. So let me start with I have some notes for us today. And let me just start at the top here. So when I said there are three things, hold on, my notes are being a little finicky. I think there's just so much energy in the room right now, but it's all good. I don't need the notes. But so anyway, but I wanted to share that for those of you who've worked with Goddess Brigid before, she's our entry point for today. So people who work with Goddess Brigid, you may know her as a fiery goddess with beautiful, gorgeous red hair. And I really see, Brigid herself as the embodiment of what it is to go on a pilgrimage. Brigid is the goddess of healing. She is the goddess of divine inspiration, and she is the goddess of the sacred flame. So I really feel like if we look at those three qualities of Brigid and we look at them individually, this is what it actually means when we go on pilgrimage. So like I said, Brigid is goddess of healing. When we are called to a land, the land is, like I said, it's a reciprocal thing. We are being called for healing on the deepest level of our being. And I wanted to share when I went to Ireland the first time was 9 years ago, and I had just gotten out of it was like a 5 year relationship, and I was at a crossroads. I was at a crossroads, and I had this directive: go to Ireland. And it was funny because I've shared little pieces of this story before, how I was handing in, it was like my last term paper of the semester when I was getting my master's. I heard this beautiful Celtic harp on the breeze, and I had this longing to go to Ireland. And a couple weeks later, I got the invitation. It was truly divine. But it was like one of those things that it wasn't convenient, it wasn't easy, and nevertheless, I was called. And I want to share that because kind of what comes through, especially for those of you who are drawn to pilgrimage or just to be in spaces with me, even virtual spaces. I am very much an archetypal healer. I am someone who really likes to go into the divine energies of different gods and goddesses for our own soul activation and up leveling. And so well, I'm talking about Brigid, another goddess I really love to connect with. Many of you may have heard me speak about her before, the Morrigan, Brigid's mother. This is the Raven goddess, the Raven Queen. And when I connect with the energy of this goddess, and many of you may be familiar with her, there is like a tough as nails energy, a fierceness, a fearlessness. And when I was called to Ireland 9 years ago, that was the energy I was called to step into. It was, I don't know why, but I must go. And so I'm sharing this with you because when you say yes to pilgrimage, there are all different parts of you that will get activated, all different parts of you that come online. And this really is the unfolding of the hero, the heroine's journey. And I know pretty much everyone here, I don't know a soul probably on the planet now who hasn't heard of the hero's journey and Joseph Campbell. But I want to share, what I want to share though, is that when you go on sacred pilgrimage, I said I described the three aspects of pilgrimage as the three aspects of Brigid. So I said healing, divine inspiration, and then I mentioned the flame. Brigid is goddess of the hearth, goddess of the flame. There are many different ways that I see the flame. One is I feel like people face their fears, but the way that I most like to connect with the flame is through the lens of magical transformation. And I just feel the flame, when we meet that flame and we come to it with an open heart, ready and willing for magical transformation, we are not the same person on the other side. And I feel like that's where pilgrimage is different than, like, we might go for a day to a beautiful magical ceremony, or we might even go on a vacation. But I really feel that when we go to pilgrimage, the intention is that you are forever changed, forever transformed. And really that's the message. That's one of the energies I want to bring through. It's that it's not that you go back to baseline when you go back home. It's that you are permanently transformed by the the frequencies, the energies of the place that you are called. And but I want to say part of what makes this transformation possible is you, because it all starts with you. When you say yes, that sacred yes, that's when the magic of transformation first starts. I know that we think it starts when you actually land and you get there and you see the sacred sites. The magic of transformation starts the second that you give that sacred yes, that honoring of the deepest longings of your soul. Because in that moment, you are saying, I am more than just a physical being. I am a spiritual being. The soul of the land has called me, and I will answer the sacred call. And just one of the things that I want to share here today. So I feel like we're all on, I know there are men and women here today, hero or heroine's journey, whichever one you most resonate with. You have the opportunity, whether it's, through going to Ireland physically or just hearing her stories, her myths and legends, you have the opportunity to step into the next level version of you. Ireland calls people to step into their mythic consciousness, to step into their mythic selves, to go on an adventure far beyond your wildest dreams. And, if I'm being perfectly honest, I'm someone I love Star Wars. I love Harry Potter. I love all of those big, epic adventure films and epic adventure stories. And I love that because I have this moment like that when I'm reading those books, when I'm watching those films, of feeling like I am all that I could be. I feel that moment the characters experience the ultimate triumph. And even those like moments that like they're challenged, all of it just makes for a riper and sweeter destiny. And so for those of you here, I just, I feel that in some way, Ireland is part of your divine destiny. Ireland, besides being a place of myth and magic, Ireland is a land of destiny. And I do want to share. We're going to go on a guided journey later to Brigid's Well in County Clare. So I'm going to share more about that, but I get so excited. I don't want to lose the thread, but I said we would learn 3 things about pilgrimage, 3 things pilgrimage brings through. First thing, like I said, was healing. And I want to just share an experience I had in Ireland when I was there 9 years ago. Like I said, I had to go. My soul was called. There was so much transformation and healing I received when I was there. Besides that, so much divine inspiration. But I had a really miraculous experience when I went to one of the holy wells in Ireland in County Clare. So County Clare, for those of you who don't know, that's on the western side of Ireland. And it's so funny because I was on this trip with my master's program, and I didn't know really anything about Ireland at the time, just that I was called to be there. And there was a special holy well that my teacher at the time took us. And I remember everyone, like I was with a whole group. It was like a gaggle of students, and like we're all together, and people were like, oh, it's this well, and there are all these little pilgrim, there were tokens, there were coins, there were things that had been tied to the trees. And I was with a bunch of kids from Massachusetts, and I was already the odd one out because I was from New Jersey. Like, but I am with a whole bunch of kids, and they're like, okay, great, it's this old ancient well, it's like thousands of years old, whatever, can we go back on the bus? That was the general energy of the place. I, on the other hand, was like, everything stop everything, because the vibration of this place, and this was before I was really, I would say, spiritually I was a very spiritual person always, but like before I was really as energetically sensitive as I am now, I suddenly just was like, stop everything. The energy of this place, what's happening? I don't know what this is. And so literally, I'm not kidding. The teacher said, you guys can stay as long as you want. You have about 10 minutes. Everyone else hightails it back to the bus. And I'm just like alone. It's just me alone in this like sacred site, this holy well and I don't know even at this time that this is the well of Goddess Brigid, because I don't know anything yet about Brigid. But I just know that it's like the earth around me just stopped. It's like I couldn't hear a sound. It's as if the well itself had this vibrating, this humming, and she was calling me. And so I, knelt down at the edge of this pool. I took the water, put on my face, and I learned later that's, people come from far and wide for this water. It's holy. And people come to this. There are multiple holy wells, of course, throughout the land of Ireland, but Brigid has a couple wells that are designated to her. And when you go to a well that belongs to Brigid, it is miraculous healing. People come from far and wide to get that water for miraculous healing. I didn't know this. And like I said earlier, I was actually there. I had just finished like a 5-year relationship. So I was thinking more physical healing, but actually really what I experienced in Ireland that first time was emotional healing. But what I'm sharing is that I leant down, I put, the water, no one told me to do this. I just felt suddenly called to like douse my skin in this beautiful water. And I felt this energy of rebirth moving through me, spiraling through me. And my hand started to vibrate. And I was like, holy God, what is happening? Finally, someone from the bus is like, hey, Elizabeth, are you okay? I'm hiding my hand. Yes, I'm fine. And I'm just like trying to be like, oh my God, I was with a lot of, I call them muggles for lack of a better word, but I send them love. I love all the muggles. But so I was like, okay, I need to get back on this bus. But it was an unforgettable experience because till that moment, I had never had, like I had an experience once before of like full on vibrating like that. And that was the first time it was a special Reiki attunement that I received. That was like a very high level attunement. And so to me, I'm sharing this with you because that's what it felt like for me to go to Brigid's Well in Kildare. It was like getting like a high level energy attunement. And I was just like, I don't know. It was just like something that has stayed in my heart for all these years. And so the activation we are doing later today, I mentioned we'll be learning more about Enchanted Ireland for those of you who want to travel with me, but we'll also be doing guided journey. We are going in the guided journey to this very well. It is off the charts. It is off the charts magical. And I'm just giving you a little sneak preview that that's actually one of the places, if you come, to one of the Ireland trips, like that's one of the places that I would be taking people to, just because, like I said, I had such profound experience there. But so I shared that because I said there are 3 things for pilgrimage. And I said, thing number 1 is healing. And so I share that with you because Brigid, while often associated with fire, is incredibly connected to water. And so that's something I really see people who are called to go to Ireland. There is great healing that you receive from the gods and goddesses, the Tuatha Dé Danann, but also really from the land itself. And I wanted to really illustrate, like through that example, it's not just that we go when we sit there and it's like, oh, it's the land. Hi. It's like the land wants us to have a multidimensional soul activating experience. That's what's really being called for. So I want you to know that I know this is the kind of thing that like not everyone wants this kind of experience. But when you are called, you know it on the deepest level of your being. But again, like I said, you can also experience the magic through guided journeys and activations as well, like we're going to have here today. So that's one thing. And then I said the next thing was inspiration. And I know this is different for every person, but hold on, before I talk about inspiration, because this is one of my favorite topics, I just want to take a sip of water. Beautiful. Okay. So for those of you, I know everyone here, like my business, magical storytelling, it is all about divine inspiration. The emails I send out, you guys may know, like I have my symbol for magical storytelling at the top. There's the 3 dots and the 3 lines. That is the Awen symbol. It is the Welsh symbol of divine inspiration. It's a bardic, it's an ancient force that I believe floods through all of creation. When you are suddenly, like I have this great idea, it could be an idea for writing a book. It could be even, I want to go to the grocery store and I want to get cherries. And you're like, ooh, where did that idea come from? Because it's so juicy and alive. That is divine inspiration. So divine inspiration doesn't differentiate. And this is to help you live your most miraculous life. And I have found that a lot of times people who go to Ireland, it's like, it doesn't even, I'm saying Ireland because like that's really the focus of today's call, but I'm just saying anywhere that you go and you experience that energy of awe. When I was, this is like something I learned when I was traveling about 10 years ago. I was in Israel, and this is an ancient Kabbalistic teaching that the highest experience of life is awe. The highest experience of life is awe and wonder. And that's, when we're little kids, like we have that. And that's why when you see, like, I love this example of you guys seeing, like, when you see a puppy, and a puppy is so cute because the puppy is just like, I must smell everything. And that joy, that sheer joy, like the puppy is like, it's smelling everything for the first time. And that's really the energy, the frequency of enchantment. So that's something that I also talked a good deal about in different I don't know how many of you attended. I did the 3-day challenge a couple months ago, the 3-day Enchanted Ireland extravaganza, and I talked about enchantment. But I want to say this is really specific to Ireland. I feel that when you go to Ireland, you really enter into an enchanted consciousness. And I call this Maeve consciousness. For those of you who have done work before with the Queen Goddess Maeve, she really invites people into, it's like a fairy consciousness, a magical energy. And what I really want to share here today is this was the original consciousness of Ireland. So when we go forward in the future and we have writers like James Joyce, or I mean, and these are beautiful writers, but like when you go to Ireland, they'll make jokes about how like the Irish have this real satire, and it's like, oh, could life get any worse? They've had all these things happen to them, and so they make light of it because I feel like that's the spirit of the Irish. They always make light of things. But when we really go back, I feel, to the original consciousness, the original energy of Ireland, it's seeing the world through this lens of enchantment, as it's like the first language. It's the way that I'm kind of feeling it. This is an odd metaphor, but it's the one that I'm receiving. When a baby is like growing inside a mother's womb, the first color they see is red. That is, and it's funny because we're talking about Brigid, and Brigid has the fiery red hair. But so the first color a baby can make out is red. And this is before it's born, it's still in the womb. That's really what I feel like Ireland, like when we go back to the earliest energy, the earliest consciousness and frequency of Ireland, it was this energy of enchantment. This is the first language of Ireland, the first language of her land and her trees and her rocks. That is why she is the land of myth. That is why she has inspired such myth. So I really want you to take a moment to understand that it's not just we who are going to be inspired. Like, it's Ireland herself as the great enchantress. Ireland as the great enchantress, us opening up to receiving her in that way. And, we take that back with us. There is, an attunement and opening that happens where we always, ever after, we have the ability to step into that enchanted consciousness once more. So that's like going back to, like I said, that energy of inspiration, again, inspiration in spirit. But I feel that every place, you can go to Jerusalem. You go to the pyramids of Giza. There is a different energy. Like you will be changed wherever you are called to pilgrimage. But there's something about Ireland. It is a holy magic. It is an ancient, something I feel is almost ineffable. I wish I could put it to words, but that is the beauty of it. That is the beauty of it, that it cannot be put to words, but only felt in the deepest part of our being, in the heart. And so I hope you can just feel coming through me this love. I feel that that's the only word that describes this energy that Ireland has for all who come to visit her, all who are called. And so before I get too carried away, I can get sentimental here. I want to go back, refocus again. I'm going to take another sip of water. So I want to say this is what's, I think, the question for a lot of people. Why now? Because like I said, I went to Ireland 9 years ago, and I know that I think Linda put in the chat, like she's been to Ireland before. Why is Ireland calling for people to come now? And I wish that I understood, like, I feel like there's a cosmic significance. That's what I want to put to words. The stars have aligned. That is the only way I can put it. The land is waking up. So this is also kind of like diving into more of the territory of earth magic. And so a lot of times when we look at Ireland, we are connected to earth magic. Just being there, it's like you start this initiation into earth magic. But when I think of earth magic, I really feel like sometimes people describe the heart of the forest, like that is the place where magic is born, or deep underground, that is the place where magic is born. And I'm sharing this with you because I feel that this is a moment, the land of Ireland, which has been quite frankly traumatized throughout the ages. Because she was so pure, because she was so sacred, she was pillaged, she was plundered. And there is, even though there is so much beauty, there is still a trauma upon the land. And I feel that this is the moment that I believe that the land itself is holding such great magic, such high holy magic, that it's almost like this magic was hidden. This magic was hidden. It could not be accessed. It's like the land itself put a protective shield to hide its most sacred magic, to keep it safe. And this is the moment I feel that we are called to open to this magic once again. The time has come. Humanity has raised in consciousness. Those who are pure and noble of heart are called to remember this. And what I sense here, and this may resonate for some of you, many of you have worked with this magic before. It is a high holy magic of Ireland that has not been seen for thousands of years. Because, besides, I know many of you attended my Treasures of Ireland summit. Besides everything with Queen Elizabeth I, there are also the Viking invaders. There were lots of different attacks, on the Irish soil. And really here, Ireland, each time this precious land was attacked, like that magic receded further and further into the earth. It was hidden further and further away. And Ireland herself, she is a conscious being. She is a sentient. She is a sentient. I'm hearing the word queen here. She is a sovereign queen. This land holds ancient royal code. She is an ancient queen. And she really is calling for the reclamation of those of us who have had sacred relationship with her before in this lifetime or other lifetimes. She is calling us home to remember the magic that in our heart of hearts we have never forgotten. So this may just sound like pretty words to some people. And actually, most of this is not what I prepared. It's not what I prepared for today. But this is what's really wanting to come through, is that there is a magic that lies deep in the heart of the land, deep in our hearts. And that is what is being called here, that there is a meeting of these two hearts, the heart of Ireland and our innermost heart, a lot of which has been locked up, a lot of which we have not had access to. And that's one thing I can share about my experiences with Ireland, is that when I went, because I've been there a couple of times now, each time I went, it's like there was a part of my soul I didn't know was just lying dormant. I didn't know my soul was just waiting for the moment that it would be called to awaken. So it's an awakening to the magic and just also the healing power of Ireland. So I have more I was going to say, and I promise we'll get to more of this later, but I just really want to make it clear. I really want to, in this moment, open to Ireland to have her speak through me. It's just this deep love. There is this longing that Ireland herself has to have you walk barefoot on the land once more, to touch the sacred rocks, to walk in the ancient streams, to come back to that which is truly sacred, ineffable, and beyond words. And I share this because I think that in our heart of hearts, it's a homecoming. We're all longing to go to that place back home. So before I get too sentimental and carried away, I am going to actually, I think, move into more of the trip. If people would like to come to Ireland with me, we have a beautiful slideshow presentation prepared. But first, before the slideshow comes online, I want to share something that has been I've been so excited to share this with you. Okay, so for those of you who are looking at the trip in September, and some of you I know are thinking, oh, I'd love to travel in Ireland over the summer because who doesn't love the summer? I'm a Leo, so the summer is my favorite time of year. I'm actually opening up a second trip, and this one is a much smaller, more intimate trip, so there's very limited spaces, but this is during the Lionsgate portal, August 8th to August 12th. And I am just so excited to share that there is this extra trip because it really depends what energy you want. If you are called to go over the Lionsgate, like I said, it's a very intimate experience, only 5 spots, and 2 of them are taken. So it's just very, very small. But then the September trip, it is going to be much more of that community pilgrimage, people really coming together. And I want to just share, I think this would be the good moment. My assistant is here, a good moment to start the slideshow. So I actually had some stuff written down about the astrology of these dates. Okay, beautiful. I think this is coming online. Okay, so for those of you, and so again, I want you to know before I get started that it is the same, whichever trip, if you are called to journey with me, the trips are exactly the same itinerary. So there's not like you go on one trip and you miss something. It's the same itinerary. It's just one is in August over the Lionsgate and one is in September. And I want to make it like, I want to kind of clarify the one in September, these are not arbitrary dates. This is happening over the lunar eclipse. This is happening over the Pisces lunar eclipse. The last time I was in Ireland this past year was in the first. There are 2 lunar eclipses in 2024. I was in Ireland during the first lunar eclipse, which was back in March, and I was told to bring people for the second one. So the second lunar eclipse is in September. You can see the dates here. And I want to just share, so the second lunar eclipse, I know not everyone is into astrology, but I feel that if you're in my community, I know that you love all things magic. So I'm just going to go for the astrology right now. So the August trip is over the Lionsgate, and I want to just break down the different astrology of these 2 different experiences, because though the itinerary is the same, each trip has a different flavor. So the August trip over Lionsgate, this is the 888 portal. So for those of you who don't know, 2024, it is an 8 year. And so the 8 year is, it's all about infinity. It's all about infinity. It's adventure, it's leadership. And I also feel the Lionsgate really, because it's ruled by Leo, it is this opening to abundance and royal codes and prosperity. So just so you know, that's really the energy of the August Lionsgate trip. It really is more of opening to your king codes, your queen codes. It's much more of a royal experience, really feeling that lion energy. And I do want to say Lionsgate is a time that people have quantum leaps, breakthroughs, very, very potent and powerful window. The September trip, oh my God, with this lunar eclipse being in Pisces, the September trip is very much about opening up to the spirit realms, higher intuition, like really opening up to your psychic gifts and abilities on a whole other level than you have experienced before. So the trip in September really is a very, very powerful and deep opening to spirit. So for those of you who are looking for that very deep spiritual experience, that's really the September trip. And like I said, it's happening during the lunar eclipse. So everything is amplified. Everything is really amplified. It's going to be a very powerful portal, very spiritual portal. So I just wanted to kind of preface, those are the 2 different energies. And I hope that my internet is is okay. I feel like it's not doing that well when we're sharing the screen. So I will try to get through the presentation quickly. But for everyone here, you guys have seen the landing page. Ireland calls you when it's time to step into your destiny. It is time to remember your soul as boundless and infinite to live the life you've always imagined. And we can have the next slide. 1 second. This is the magic of technology. Okay, so again, you can come to either of these magnificent experiences to connect deeply with the land of Ireland, enjoy fairy stories and legends of the Tuatha De Danann. Remember, these are the ancient gods and goddesses of Ireland. And even though this one is at the bottom, it is last but not least, receive royal codes from Ireland's ancient royal sites. And so I kind of want to share that regardless of which trip you go on, we are going to different, there are some sites, they're the ancient, they're almost like UNESCO World Heritage sites. They're a couple of places. There's the Hill of Tara that we'll be going to. There's the Hill of Usanek. They are ancient royal sites where the kings and queens of old, they would go to be crowned there. They are coronation sites. We are going, I believe there are 6 of those sites, and we are going to, I believe, 4 of them. So this is really also an opportunity for deep experience of king and queen codes. And I'm trying not to rush through this, but I feel like my internet might not be as good with all the slides. But just to give you guys an understanding of when you go on these experiences with me, besides the sacred sites, you are going to be in sacred communion with these high-level gods and goddesses, including Brigid, the Morrigan, Queen Maeve, Eire, and also different kings. Especially when we go to the Hill of Tara, there are a lot of kings that were crowned there. So again, this is a trip. It's open to like divine masculine as well. It's open to anyone who wants to receive these sacred activations. And I have here, let these legends and mysteries bring you back to the truth of your soul. Ireland is a place of exquisite beauty where you'll be deeply rejuvenated and drink from the well of life. And I mean that literally. It's like that is what happens when you go there. It's like your worries, your cares, it's like you cast them into the sacred waters of Ireland for healing. And the land holds wisdom, soul nourishment, and the secret to living a life of great enchantment. So I want to share that. And we'll also be connecting with the gods of the Tuatha De Danann, of course, Ogma, Lu, Dagda, like this is not, I mean, it's a divine feminine experience for many of you who want to connect with Brigid and Queen Maeve. But I really believe in bringing forth a fully integrated experience. We're bringing through beautiful, like divine masculine king codes and divine feminine queen codes. And this is part of you stepping into your divine destiny, your mythic self. And I have here, be nourished and inspired, say yes to enchantment and adventure. So I am just really inviting you, if we were on a mythic quest, if you are the hero or the heroine of the story, this is the part where I give you the call to adventure. I give you the call to adventure and say, this is the moment that you are asked to step into the next version of yourself. Are you ready to heed the sacred call? So I want to just share more about the days. And so one of the things I've had, take a sip of water because this part is more about the sites. On the discovery call that I've had with different people, I've had this question come up a couple times. So even though the dates that we have here, we have August 8th, this is the one start date, or September 14th. Actually, those mornings, like you need to be ready at like 8 in the morning. So you need, like, when I say it starts that day, you need to already be in Ireland the day before. So that's just something that people have, I haven't really, I guess it wasn't clarified on the webpage. So I want to clarify it now, that if I say it starts that day, you actually need to be there the morning before, the night before, so that you're ready bright and early to go on these adventures with us. And so day 1 is the Cliffs of Moher. It's like, this is, I feel like every single movie about Ireland, people see the Cliffs of Moher. This is, to me, one of the great wonders of Ireland, to me, even one of the great wonders of the world. And so it's like to see Ireland, this is a place that just your heart just, I can't even tell you. When I saw the Cliffs of Moher for the first time, I hadn't really been able to do a lot of my writing. And I remember I was kind of blocked for a little bit, but I had a notebook with me and I just sat down and just, I swear, this poem just surged through me because it was a moment of such magnificence. It took my breath away. So really, that's part of what we're inviting you into, is this energy of magnificence. And I was talking earlier about like the highest experience of life being that of awe and wonder. The Cliffs of Moher, that is your ticket to awe and wonder. And then we'll be heading to Brigid's Well in County Clare. That is the well I told you the story of earlier that I experienced. I was not going to Ireland with a beautiful group of souls without taking you to this well. And like I said, when I went, I didn't know that it was a spot sacred to Brigid. I just felt the holiness of it. But we will be doing a ritual here, definitely in connection with Brigid. And then here we're going to head to, I cannot pronounce this for the life of me, but I'm going to try my hardest here. It's the Ponnebrun Dolmen. So this is, it's like, when I saw this again 9 years ago, I called it a baby Stonehenge. It's a beautiful stone formation. It's beautiful. And again, like I would be remiss if I took people to Ireland and did not take them to this sacred, to this, it's not quite a stone circle, but it's a place that people go and you do ritual and ceremony. So I just want you to know that this would be a day really connecting with the waters and also with the earth. So that is day one, and that is on the west of Ireland. And I want to just make this clear, because I don't know if this is clear on the landing page, but we would be stationed actually in Dublin. So the whole time that we are there, we'll actually be in Dublin. And every day we would have a car take us to these different sites. So that way you're not, even though we're on an adventure, it's not one of those trips that like every night you're sleeping in a different place. Every night you have to pack your suitcase and get ready all over again. You would be situated, you'd have the same hotel the whole time you're in Dublin, and then every morning we'd be going somewhere else. So day two, I believe, let me see, the slide is coming for day two. 1 second. Okay, so here, this is more of like what people typically experience when they go to Ireland. So this is Brandebourne, the largest megalithic site in the world, Newgrange, and this spiritual site, this compound is older than Stonehenge and the pyramids of Giza. We're also going to go to the Hill of Usanek. So again, I mentioned that we'd be going to ancient royal sites. So this Hill of Usanek, this is considered by many to be the spiritual and mythological heart of Ireland. This is where the 4 provinces of Ireland meet, and where the ancient gods and goddesses of Ireland were said to gather. So here we will be doing sacred ritual with the Tuatha Dé Danann, and really experiencing the splendor of the land. And what I want to share here is, like, when I say we connect with these gods and goddesses, we are connecting with them for boons, activation, healing, but it is what's really being activated in you as the hero or heroine of your mythic quest. So I really invite you to see this whole journey. This is a mythic undertaking. This is you on a sacred soul quest. Every place we go, like really open, that you are opening up more and more to your mythic self. So this is Brandebourne, one of the places that we'd be seeing on day two. I think it is exquisite. And then on day three, this is my goddess, and I love them all. But here we go to honor Brigid, goddess of Kildare. Oh my goodness. Okay, so for those of you who, I talked about Brigid a moment ago as more of that watery goddess for the healing and inspiration. But there's also, and this goes back to what I said, the 3 elements of pilgrimage. I said healing, inspiration, and then I talked about Brigid, and I talked about that flame. And I see the flame as indicative, evocative of, magical transformation. And here in Kildare, we're going to experience this head on, because we're going to go to Brigid's fire temple. And so this place honored Brigid for thousands of years. it briefly, like there were beautiful flames there that are lit for her. They briefly went out, when paganism was really frowned upon. But then Saint Brigid arrived on the scene. And that was when, it's funny. So then this temple ended up being like in honor of Saint Brigid, and the flames were lit once more. So Brigid has never really been gone from these lands. She is, like, in some ways, I say she is one of the great spirits of the land. She is that warm love, that hospitality, that nourishment. Anyway, after we go to Brigid's fire temple, there's another well, another sacred well for Brigid in Kildare. And it has these legendary healing properties. So after this, you have a free afternoon in Dublin. And I think what I will probably do is I'll give people the opportunity. I might come up with an activity if people want to do more things with me, or if they want to explore on their own, they have that opportunity as well. I know some of you guys might want to go shopping, but there are many things to do in Dublin. You can go to, my favorite is like the Leprechaun Museum. There is Dublin Castle. There are actually a couple castles in Dublin. There is also, I believe there's a cathedral, St. Patrick. There is a lot that you can do on your free afternoon. And like I said, for those of you who would not want to explore by yourself and want more someone to plan it and like to kind of just go with the flow, I will have activities for people. So let me just see, Linda, you wrote in the chat. Oh, the Epic Museum in Dublin is a must-see. Yes. So that's what I'm saying. There's a lot to see in Dublin. There is no shortage of things to experience in Dublin. Just take a sip of water. Oh, and the Book of Kells. Thank you. Yes, the Book of Kells is very, very ancient. Oh my God. So you guys can see up there in the corner. If you go to the Book of Kells, that's actually located at Trinity College. It's actually located also, Trinity College is very close to the guest house where we'll be staying. Beautiful, beautiful campus. It's like very old, and they have the Book of Kells, and this is like such an ancient manuscript, and it's funny, they have it's almost like, I think it's like every week they will take a new page, and because again, like this is like in glass because it's so old it can't be touched. But every week the museum will flip a page of this book. So there are people who come back every week. They'll come back every week just to see the new page. So anyway, that's a little bit about the Book of Kells. But let's see here. So then we have day 4, Journey to the Other World. I need another sip of water because this is a big day. This day is so funny. So I want to share that this trip was like downloaded through me. I want to say I created it, but I feel like it created itself. So we'll be traveling north, first to Rathcrogan, again, one of the 6 royal sites of ancient Ireland. I did not hold back on the ancient royal sites. It's like I said, it doesn't matter if you were there in August or September because you are getting these royal codes either way. And so here, Rathcrogan is also very special to Queen Maeve. So here we will celebrate and honor Queen Maeve through sacred storytelling and ceremony. And then we are going to go to, hopefully I can say this correctly, Oyonnax Cave, also known as the Cave of the Cats. And this is a portal to the other world and one of the most potent and powerful places to connect with the Morrigan. And I know that, I know some people have resistance to the Morrigan, but the way I really feel like the Morrigan, there is almost like you are stripped down to like your ultimate truth. Anything that's like acting as an illusion, anything that's kind of in the way of you seeing who you're meant to step into, what you're really here to do, to be, like the highest experience that you're meant to have in this lifetime, the Morrigan lovingly helps you strip all of that away. And so I want you to know that the Morrigan is here really as an ally, especially everyone on this call, anyone on this trip. I want to, like, in this moment, like undo, I feel like the bad press the Morrigan has gotten, because she is here to initiate. She's here to initiate people into their greatness, into their glory, into I'm hearing this, the utter epicness of their soul. So, I mean, who doesn't want that? But at the end of the day, And I have here, we're doing a special ceremony with the Morgan to banish all fear and step into the true magic of the other world. And like I said, whichever trip you are going on, the Lionsgate trip, the veil is very thin between this world and the other world. And during the September trip, during the lunar eclipse portal, oh my God, the otherworld connection is going to be off the charts. I almost feel like when we go to these sites, we're probably not even going to speak. I mean, I will speak because I never stop speaking. I'm loving, yes, I'm always going, but I just really feel that so many of you who are called to that, to that sacred site to be there with me, it's just beyond words. Again, these places, they touch such a deep place in your heart, such a deep place in your soul. And then I wanted to make sure that we went to, it's a place called Nakmita, and this is also known as Nakma Forest Trail. And this is a fairy forest where Finbarra, the king of the Conic fairies, still lives according to Irish legend. And honestly, I should also say that Finbarra, like even though now we call him a fairy king, he's originally one of the Tuatha Danann. So I don't feel like there is many people have asked like what's the difference like Tuatha Danann, and then they're like demoted to like a fairy king or a fairy queen. But I actually believe that these Tuatha Danann, they had these fairy energies all along. It's part of who they are. So I just want you to know that that's another place of it would be really sacred being in that forest. And besides sacred, it's a fairy forest. It's going to be fun and joyful. And that's also, I kind of feel this coming in from the fairies now. They're like, you're focusing too much on the sacred, bring in the joy. Like that's really, when we go to the fairy forest, that's also what we are bringing in. So I think that we just have one more day, day 5, and that is the Hill of Tara, and meeting the Leah Fall, the Stone of Destiny. Oh, I just get so I can't even speak. I love this Stone of Destiny. I was called there. I was there, like I said, in March, and I had one directive. I was there to plant the trees, the trees that like we all raise funds for Treasures of Ireland. But I had the directive, which was you must go to the Hill of Tara to be with the Stone of Destiny. And the Stone of Destiny, it really is like it's like an ego death. It's like a meet your maker kind of moment. People think it's going to be all like fireworks and balloons. And I mean, it's like, it's surrounded by green. It's like green as far as the eye can see. And the Hill of Tara is surrounded by hawthorn trees, which are fairy trees. But when you actually connect with the energy of the stone, there is a solemnity to it, a wisdom to it. And like I said, when I went to see the Stone of Destiny, I literally had, it was like the next year of my life downloaded to me. But it wasn't just, I mean, I'm just speaking more personally here. My destiny, as I was called to make a big impact on a large scale, not just in my own life, but in the lives of others. And there was a part of me that was like, oh my God, like what was shown to me, what was given to me was bigger than, to this day, I don't even know how it's all going to come together, but I was shown what I was to do. And I'm sharing that with you because, again, so a lot of times we think of myths and legends as the stuff of yesteryear. When you are in Ireland, when you see these places, it is not the stuff of yesteryear. This energy of destiny, this is just as alive today as it ever was. So I want you to know that. And I just want everyone to take a moment to really just feel into what is your soul destiny? What are you called to receive and experience? We'll be doing a special ceremony for the Divine King and Queen codes, because I said Hill of Tara, this is where the kings, this is where there was a coronation. This is actually the high kings, because they were kings of the 4 different provinces, but this is where the high kings were crowned. And we're also been traveling. This isn't bolded, unfortunately, but we'll be traveling to Rathmave. And this is about a 15-minute walk from the Hill of Tara. This is not commonly visited. It looks kind of like a barren wasteland. But when you go there, it is the energy of the fairy queen waiting to be remembered. And when I went there, I'm not kidding, it's like everything is overgrown and you wouldn't even know that this was a sacred site in honor of Goddess Maeve if there wasn't just one tiny little sign by the side of the road. And when I walked there, I immediately had visions. I had visions of the celebration, the revelry that occurred there thousands of years ago. And I felt the land itself saying, forget heal me, bring back the revelry, bring back the song, bring this back. This was Maeve herself calling for this. So I just wanted you to know. So that's, and Maeve is also very connected to the Hill of Tara. It was said that, it was Maeve that gave the kings their true initiation before they could really take that crown. And so then this is not here, but this is something that I've been guided to do, is at the end of the day, we're also going to go to the Hill of the Witch. This is a place, like some of you have seen, there's the throne of the Cailleach. This is in Lecru. I know it's not on the list, but the Cailleach is not going to let me leave. It's not forget me leave. I've been there. He's not going to let anyone who comes in the trip leave without you guys going to this sacred site. And the Cailleach, I know many of you know this. She is the ancestor. She's the ancestor of the lands. And she really holds this primal wisdom. And so, like I said, you climb to the top of Lecru, the Hill of the Witch. There is this throne there. You would have the opportunity to sit on that throne and receive the primal attunement and activation of the Cailleach and the land itself. So take a sip of water. Okay. I know I promised everyone this would be an hour, but we haven't gotten to our activation yet. I think that this is most of our presentation. We might have a couple more slides for you. But basically, if you, we're going to have a time for, oh, we have another slide. Thank you. We're going to have time for questions at the end. But first, I just kind of want to read this. How do you know if the Enchanted Ireland retreat is right for you? So 1, you have a deep love of Ireland, even if you've never been there before. You are ready for the life-changing spiritual activation that comes from visiting Ireland's sacred sites. You want to shake up your routine and you long deep in your heart and soul to experience otherworldly beauty and natural landscapes. And these last ones are my favorite. You love storytelling, magic, and adventure, and you are looking to form deep, meaningful, and lasting connections. That is one of my promises to you, the people who come on this trip. And yeah, if you want to, if you feel inspired, we're going to drop the link to the trip in the chat, and you can book your discovery call with me. I would love to connect with you for the, for the August trip, the September trip, whichever one feels most in alignment for you. And again, like I'm going to open this up to questions at the end. But right now I know that you guys have been here a long time and I promised you a guided journey. So I'm going to start our guided journey in 1 second. I'm like part camel here. It's also, I've realized the more healing work I've been doing, especially with Brigid and the Tuda Danan, it's like, I'm like part camel. Okay. So let me just get this ready for us. So yeah, I think that my assistant is putting the links in the chat. But okay, so we're going to cast our sacred circle and we are going to be connecting with Goddess Brigid and we are going to be going to the sacred well in Kildare. Oh, sorry, not in Kildare. I take that back. We're going to Sacred Well in County Clare. They kind of rhyme though, so you can forgive my mispronunciation there. But anyway, so let me just start here. I invite everyone here to pause and take a deep breath and like, let's get rid of all of that, like all of the logistics, all of that, like more thinking brain. And let's just fully open to the magic. Fully open to the magic, the wonder, the bliss of Ireland. Open to the healing that she has for you today. Open to receive whatever call in your soul, like whatever brought you here today, open to what you're meant to receive. And so we're going to actually cast our sacred circle. So I cast this circle to create a space beyond space and time beyond time. I cast this circle to block out all energies and spirits that are not allies of ours. I cast this circle that all energies raised herein remain confined. As above, so below, as within, so without, the circle is sealed. Beautiful. Into the sacred space, I call the elements, earth, air, fire, and water. I also call the directions, north, south, east, west, above, below, and within. I call in the heart of spirit of Ireland herself, the land. Be here with us today. Help us step into the consciousness of holy pilgrimage, whether we travel there in person or today we just journey there from afar. Help us step into your sacredness, your sacred heart. Ireland, we open to receive your wisdom, your teachings, your healing magic and wonder. I also call upon the grace of the Tuatha Dé Danann, the gods and goddesses of Ireland. I call on Goddess Brigid, goddess of healing, healing fire, and divine inspiration. I call on the Morrigan, Raven Queen. Be here with us in this holy space. I call on Dagda, the good God. I call on Danu, Great Mother, and Eire, goddess of the land and sovereignty, for whom the land of Ireland is named. I call upon the great fairy beings of Ireland. I call upon the hawthorn trees at the hill of Tara. I call upon the magic of the stone of destiny and the 4 fairy treasures, the 4 sacred hallows. Be here with us. We call upon the ancestors of everyone here, Celtic ancestors who brought you to this holy moment. And it's our intention here today for divine breakthroughs of the heart and soul. All of you here today receiving the power of pilgrimage. And we're also calling in the healing frequencies, the energies of Brigid's Well in County Clare. You can really feel this coming in. I see this as actually beautiful sapphire raindrops coming in from the heavens. You really feel the frequency of this place as if you are being transported through time and space. There is a whoosh. And all of a sudden, you find yourself in the most magnificent of places. Breathe deeply now. Let your eyes fully close and surrender. All around you, you see green, emerald green everywhere. And then all of a sudden you hear the drip, drip, drip of a small well. It's very small. And as you get closer, this well, it almost seems as if it belongs to the earth, as if it wasn't made by human fingers, but the divine itself placed the well here. As if the earth created this just for you in this moment. And yet, as you go closer, in this moment, it feels so intimate, so personal. You also feel as if you are here in the moments of first creation. There's a timelessness to this well, as if as you look into the sacred waters, you see eternity reflected back at you. And you just take a moment to really feel the energy of this place, the power of Brigid's Well in County Clare, where pilgrims have traversed for thousands of years. As you walk even closer to the well, you notice the beautiful water droplets around the edges, and you see that the water of this well actually moves into a greater stream. This is a holy well. You feel this deep in your bones. This is a sacred place. And yet you also feel the overlighting presence of Goddess Brigid. Brigid is often associated with fire, but there are many legends that also connect her with the water. And just keep walking through this place, feeling the beautiful air move deep into your lungs, breathing this in as if you have never breathed this deeply before. The air itself is crisp. Feel the holiness of this place coming into your body. And in the distance, you see a black bird, the Morrigan, cawing in the distance. The sound is like music to your ears. And you kneel beside this beautiful stream, putting your hands in the water, feeling the water move against your fingertips in beautiful, luxurious waves. And now I invite you to take this water between both your hands and move it up to your face. Really feel the droplets moving into the crevices by your eyes, your nose, your ears. Really feel the sacred water replenishing you, blessing you. Know that people have come from far and wide to experience this healing magic. Feel it cooling your skin. Feel the energy of rebirth and rejuvenation submerging your pores in pristine beauty. All of a sudden, you take another look into the well, expecting to see your reflection, but it's not your face you see. In the pool, you see the eyes and nose and face of Goddess Brigid. See her fiery, radiant hair. See her eyes looking up at you, and gaze upon this image. Brigid, the great goddess in the water. To the vibrancy of the red color of her hair, it's almost gold and orange. See these beautiful gold and orange colors moving through the stream, as if the sun itself were caressing the ripples. In the stream, Brigid's eyes look back at you, full of fire and passion. Once more, you hear the caw of the Morrigan, the raven queen overhead. You look up at the sky again, and all of a sudden, these black raven rings, these black raven wings suddenly start to swirl, and feathers come down. In this moment, open to receive a blessing from the Morrigan. This is an activation of fearlessness, fierceness. Take a moment to really receive this into your being. Open up to the mystery, the magic of the other worlds. And now take a look once more at this holy well. You notice things you did not see before. There are tokens all around you, which pilgrims have left behind in prayer throughout the ages, and you feel their holiness make its way into your hearts. In this moment, you fully experience the magic of Brigid as goddess of healing. You open your whole heart and soul to the magic of this place, and here we call upon divine soul healing from the sacred well in County Clare. This healing to move through time and space, opening your heart, opening to heal your body, any part of you in need of healing. Open to receive this now. Let this come through. Take a deep breath. Let the running waters of this place and the air itself be a balm for all the parts of you in need of healing. And we also call in, besides healing, we call upon the She, the Tudadanan, the magic of Ireland itself, for the soul activation you most need and require right now. And all of a sudden, the waters of this place seem to rise in a sacred dance that has not been seen since the dawn of time. This is high, holy magic, the waters coming to life. And in this moment, you see there is the great coming of Goddess Brigid. She appears before you. There's a tornado, a swirl of water all around her. And she raises her arms to the sky. This water surrounds you both. Take a moment to really see the goddess there before you, the fierceness of her gaze, and yet the nourishment, the tenderness, the love. She has called you here, inviting you to rise, for she is also a goddess of the flame. And here you are invited to rise into your fullest potential and high destiny. If there's anything that is holding you back, anything you are afraid of, open to release it now in this moment. Release it to the water, release it to the wind, release it to the undying spirit of this goddess. She who is goddess of spring, rebirth, new potential, and new opportunities. Just really open now to release and receive. And we call in the power of all the souls who are gathered here. We call upon the joint power of every one of us. And from this place of love, we also pool our love together. And you are invited in this moment to stand with Brigid and send healing thoughts, sending your love to the land of Ireland. And in your heart, in your mind, you may see visions of the trees. You may see visions, patches of land where sad things happen, even if they were centuries past. In this moment, you are invited to take Brigid's hand. You move through time and space with holy water cupped in your palm, and you are invited to place this holy water on the places throughout the land of Ireland that are most in need of healing. Perhaps you are taken by Goddess Brigid to your ancestral lands. Perhaps there's a part of Ireland that your family came from. You are invited to place this healing water there. You're also invited to drink of this water. And you're also invited to send your blessings. You are the one. You hold the power. You are called to bless the lands with your holy magic, with the magic, the sacredness of all that you are. You need only remember it. Ireland is here to help you remember. And now just feel yourself as the healer and continue to also let Ireland activate you on the deepest level of your being. Surrender, open. And now you notice that Goddess Brigid is standing there as if she has a piece of wisdom or advice she is most anxious to bestow. I invite you to stop what you're doing, to really look now into Brigid's eyes. Perhaps in those eyes, you see infinite wells, infinite springs. Perhaps you see the dawning. You see the dawning of Earth's flowers. Perhaps in her eyes, you see so much potential. You see the unending cycles of this earth, the unending cycles of time itself. Yes, she holds all of this, but she is here today for you. You are invited to introduce yourself, or if you know her dearly, just see what message she has for you today. Beautiful. And now Brigid takes you by the hand and leads you once more to the well in County Clare. You're invited to feel these healing frequencies one more time. You're invited to touch the water, the healing water, to bring it to your face yet again, to sprinkle it over your hair, your fingertips, even if you would like to sprinkle some on Goddess Brigid. You're invited to sprinkle this water on the land. You're invited to sprinkle it on your heart. You are invited to take some of this with you. If there is a place in your life, if there is a situation that is in need of healing, and if that is the case, take this water, put it in your hands, and imagine that situation, see that situation in these drops of crystalline water. And we call upon the great healing of Atuda Danan. We call upon the magic of the other worlds. This be healed, dissolved, resolved. And we also call upon you. We call upon your mythic self to be fully activated here and now, that you may step into your highest soul destiny. Let the land itself, the land of Ireland, speak and whisper to you of this soul destiny that is yours. And take a moment to see if the land herself has any messages for you. Beautiful. And now take one last look at this place, at the fiery red hair of Goddess Brigid, at the cerulean pool of this place, and the green hills surrounding you, and the trees in the distance, and the way the air feels here. Take a moment to thank the land, to thank the goddess, to feel yourself one with this place. Breathe that in. And when you're ready, take a deep breath and feel yourself transported back through time and space to the room where you first began today's mystical, magical journey, fully coming back into your body, anchoring in to the here and now. I'm just going to take a moment for everyone to just come back and take a sip of water. Does anyone want to share either how that was for them? You can put it in the chat. You can come off mute. If not, I'm also really happy to answer any questions people have. But let me see. I think there's stuff in the chat that I missed from before. Oh, yes. We have, yeah, my assistant put the landing page in the chat. So I want to share, there is no, right now there's no page for the August trip. It's just one page. So if you go to the landing page, just go down, book the discovery call, and you can tell me when we are on the call together, which trip is really speaking to you. And, I just want to repeat the August one. It is just a very small, intimate gathering. There's going to be max 5 people, 2 spots are already taken. So it's just like, there is not a lot, there's not a lot of spaces, but it's like, if you want that 888 queen code, like queen activation, that is the trip for you. That is the trip for you. And like I said, the 888, it's all infinity, it's abundance, prosperity, it's the energy of Leo. It is that Leo energy. And it's a real time of quantum, acceleration, quantum manifestation. So that's the Lionsgate trip. And the September trip, we have more spaces. I can take up to like 10 or 12 people on that trip. So that's a more community feel. And like I said, that is the one that if you're wanting to connect like with the other world, with your spirit team, with the spirit realms, that is really that trip. That is that, like, it is just such a deep opening of the heart and soul, opening to your intuition. Like I said, the September trip is taking place during the Pisces. I believe it's a full moon, Pisces full moon, and a lunar eclipse, one of the most powerful times of this entire year. So these 2 portals, like, they are incredibly powerful. And I want to say that I chose these dates, but really I didn't. The dates, they insisted. And I want to just speak from my heart. If you are called, I would love to go on the sacred journey with you. I know there are people who are meant to come that haven't signed up yet. And I from my heart, from my soul, I humbly call you forward. Say yes to this experience of magic and adventure. This is the time, this is the year. Ireland is calling. And I want to just see here. Like I said, I had some notes that I did not even get to share. I had all these notes. But let me just see. I think there might be a couple final things I just wanted to say. I feel like I was going to talk more about earth magic, and something I wanted to say. I know that in a lot of different magical traditions, like, there's all the rituals, and you have to be in this certain place at this certain time. And I mean, we're kind of doing that because I am saying we must come to Ireland during these like sacred portals. But really, I feel like when I talk about high magic, this is us raising our consciousness to the miraculous. It is all of us together. And that's what's happening. We are stepping together, all of us standing in our power. And there was another message that I wanted to share. And I really do feel like, part of my mission here is really bringing back the new Eden. And I feel that Ireland herself, she is still so very beautiful, but she was once a land of such paradise. And she is calling, even though her beauty right now is so sacred and so off the charts, There is a next level paradise that we are being called. We are being called to help heal the land. We are really being called to bring the magic back to the land. And that's something that I wrote down and wanted to share. So the way that I really see, and I know some of you took Destiny Enchantment with me, and I know that many of you were there for the 3-day challenge. I really see like part of the magic of Ireland. It actually comes from the 4 fairy cities of the Tuatha Dé Danann. Like that fairy magic is in the land, or at least a lot of it was in the land. It was really in the land, the Tuatha Dé Danann, and they brought that. That was the gift. It wasn't just the 4 hollows. It was the magic they brought with them from the other world. That's why when you're in Ireland, that's why you can really be in that space of enchantment, because it's like, it always was almost a place. It was, even though it's a 3D physical place that we can go visit, it's like it was the other world. It had this deep, deep connection to the other world. It was one step closer to the other world than most other places on Earth. And so I'm sharing this with you because a lot of that fairy magic was burned out of the land, destroyed. And part of what we are called to do is to bring the enchantment, to bring the magic back, to help Ireland. Really, we are really called. We are really called. This is a sacred, sacred journey for us as individuals, but also Ireland herself. She is calling those to help her heal. So I just wanted to share that. And I want you to know, and I know it's well over the time that I promised. But when I say that Ireland is calling, is calling us to help her heal, I want you to know that when I say that, it is not like something that just, Ireland is healed. We are entering into what I believe is like this next golden age. This is this next golden age, and we need our sites on planet Earth, the places that hold the highest magic, that have held the highest magic throughout time. We need that magic at full blast. We need that magic restored. And it's through this, us working in symphony, in sacred concert with the land. That is part of how we are anchoring in this next level. Like I genuinely believe this new earth that so many of us came here for, that has been prophesied, this is part of the coming of it. I feel this, and I know that I'm not the only spiritual leader saying this. And I know that there are different places that people are called. Some are called to do this in Egypt. Some are called to do this. There are all different portals and places on the planet right now. But if Ireland is the place calling you, I really invite you to consider joining me on this once in a lifetime quest, this once in a lifetime magical quest to step into destiny, to step into enchantment, the highest magic of your soul. And like I said earlier, the magic begins the second you choose it, the second you say yes. So without further ado, if there are any questions, this is the moment if you want to put that in the chat. Otherwise, I'm happy to answer all questions on the discovery call. And I'm just going to, repeat, the early bird price is on until the end of the month, till the end of June. It's actually a week from today. And if you book your discovery call with me before the end of the month, even if we don't get to talk until July, I will honor that price. But I'm just wanting to just end this call sharing my love for each and every one of you. Thank you for joining me here today. Thank you for being with me. I am sending all of you so much light and love.